Hey guys, obviously I'm no longer in my downtown St. Louis loft because I moved. This video is going to be about how I survived St. Louis, period. And before anybody from the Midwest come for my neck, just know there's no shade to someone from St. Louis. There's no shade to someone from the Midwest. I had to move, okay? You see, I'm in somewhere that looks like it's the suburbs. North Carolina. Now look, number one. I'm gonna start off with this out the gate. I will be returning back, but am I gonna live in the 63102 zip code ever again? No. Okay. That's not for me. It's not my lifestyle. It's not my mood. It's not my vibe. And I'm going to tell you why. So obviously I did a video on don't live in downtown St. Louis, right? This is going to build off of that. It's going to build off of what I experienced after I made that video. Okay. And just don't come for my neck, because somebody in a live somebody was mad that I didn't do my research about St. Louis. How is someone not from St. Louis supposed to know that St. Louis is the murder capital of the United States of America? Who is looking for those statistics? Who is not from the Midwest? Like, I would have never known that St. Louis was the murder capital of America if I had never went to St. Louis. I would have never known anything about St. Louis. I didn't even know they had a Busch Stadium until I was like, I'm going to move to the Midwest. I'm going to move to Missouri. And then all I heard was, they have a brand new stadium. Their Cardinals team sucks. I don't care. I'm trying to live and boss up, right? So that was the whole reason why I decided to get a loft and move into a loft downtown, 2 blocks from the stadium. I was trying to stunt. I wasn't trying to run for my life, okay? Anyways, so I'm going to build on what I experienced there. I'm going to go down through my list, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you, okay? So let's just talk about, let's build on what happened to me at the loft, right? I had a fly loft. Now that's no shade to the loft, to ballpark, none of that. I had one of the flyest lofts I had ever seen, and probably in the city, right? And the way that I had it decorated, no one could touch me. Period. Word to my mama, okay? So that's number one. I forgot when I made that video, but I think it was still chilly outside. But a couple months later, my car got broken into. Now, the parking situation over there, I never thought it was dicey. Never. But it is gated. There is a gate that you have to pull up to and press the garage door opener. You can't get in and out of the gate just by pulling up. And there was supposed to be assigned parking, right? But the day that my car got broken into, the night apparently into the morning, they broke into like 10 other cars in the same parking lot. So I wasn't the only victim. But let me tell you something. So I drive a 2021 Dodge Charger. Now listen, I bought it in 2022, right? It's candy apple red, it's an RT, it's a Hemi, it's a Daytona. Now listen, I bought that car because I wanted to buy it. I did not know anything about the Midwest or St. Louis being Charger City. Okay, I realized that after I was driving around. I was like, how come everybody got a Charger? How come everyone's trying to race me on I-64? Mind your business, I'm trying to go to work. Anyways, so I realized that St. Louis is Charger City. Everybody got a Challenger or a Charger. Even them Durangos was trying to race me. I'm like, please stay in your lane, sir. You don't want this smoke. You don't want to see me in these streets. Mustangs, men with big ass trucks trying to race me. It's like, can you please get off my behind? I just want to go to work today. So anyways, so I have a Charger. It's red. I'm gonna post some like pictures of what I saw when I came down, and I realized that my car was broken into. So number one, it was 6 a.m. I got a call from one of my neighbors. Was like, Precious, my car was broken into. And I'm like, okay. He's like, and so was yours. And I was like, bro, I'd be down there in 5 minutes. Like, I was literally washing dishes, about to like make coffee, about to like brush my teeth. I had to brush my teeth, run downstairs, and I'm gonna put a picture up there of what I saw. I was kind of like, I'm why? But then also, like, I'm surprised it happened this late in the game, because after moving to St. Louis, I realized it was car break-in of America capital too. Plenty of times I would see glass on the ground, like he's broken car window glass, not from where I lived at, but just in St. Louis. And that's when I was just really learning about St. Louis and how you're not supposed to stop at no stop sign, you're not supposed to stop at no red light. And I kept seeing, like, this is the only city I've ever been to where I see people roll through red lights because they're trying to save their lives. But I've never been pickpocketed. I've never been scared to be in St. Louis. It's just that after my car got broken into, I realized I had, like, the rose colored lenses were taken off, and I realized St. Louis is the hood for what it really is, right? Now, I'm gonna let you know, I actually like the city of St. Louis. I am from the South. I'm from North Carolina. I'm from the suburbs. It is what it is. I was never afraid to be in St. Louis. I was never afraid to have my car in St. Louis. But, the day that I came downstairs from the elevator and I saw the glass on the ground, I said, it's time for me to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. Anyways, so that morning or whatever, the leasing agents came through. They apologized. I'm like, well, what are you guys gonna do? Is there any cameras here? They was like, no, we don't have any cameras facing you guys. Are you guys gonna get cameras? Right? Where the police people at? Right? So this is a new leasing company, Keeley Properties, that took over Ballpark Lofts. Before it was Ballpark Loft Properties or whatever, right? Then they changed companies, leasing companies. Before it was Keeley, Ballpark had I had never seen this before in my life, but they had the police camera that stood up. They had the blue and red lights that was going like this, and it was like a big contraption at the corner. So it was facing Woolhouse. It was facing our parking area. Never had any issues. Now, I understand we're also coming out of COVID. People weren't on lockdown anymore. This was the first summer. Everybody's in them streets, right? But I still wasn't afraid that, oh, my car's gonna get broken into. I was like thinking, oh, I live in downtown St. Louis. It's a possibility, but I never really thought it could happen to me. It did, okay? So after I had these conversations, it was like, yeah, we're gonna work on getting cameras. Where the cameras at? I don't remember seeing any cameras for months after that happened. Also, 3 weeks later, them crooks came back. And they broke into more cars. Now, let me tell you a story. Now, where I parked at, it was lots of nice cars. Mercedes SUVs, Lexuses. I was the only Charger there. There was sometimes a Challenger. There was big trucks there. It was nice vehicles. So, of course, that's a scammer or a theft's dream. But the thing is, I'm sure they didn't find anything, because we called the cops. The cops came out. They sent about like 4 officers. They canvassed the whole parking area, gave us a little card that had like a number up there to call and a number for reports. When I asked the police officer, I said, what, are you guys going to search for these people? They was like, no. This is zero. This is like a petty theft that we can't go find these people. We can't go out and look for these people because they could be anybody and they could be anywhere. We're not allowed to chase them down even if we see them. I'm like, what do you cops do then? Not serving and protecting people's cars. Oh. So anyways, so that was on a Tuesday night going to Wednesday morning, okay? It was like a Wednesday, Thursday that my car got broken into. So, now I had a wheel lock that you put from your steering wheel to the brake. I never used it, but I used it that damn day, that night. And I put like a white trash bag over the window that was broken, and I put my car cover over my car because I was like, I'm a meteorologist, right? I was like, it's actually supposed to rain, so let me just put this car cover over my car because I don't want the inside to get wet, even though I put a trash bag over it. Let me tell you, when I came downstairs the next morning to go to work, that car cover was removed from my car as if somebody unzipped the car cover and was looking through it. Now, that had never happened before until that day. And of course, this was the very next day that my car had been broken into. And I'm like, so these crooks came back to steal my car. And thank God, glory to God, that I had that wheel lock on there, because I guess it made them think, well, we can't just roll this car at this parking lot. So when that happened, I said, it's time for me to go, right? So then that was a Thursday morning. I went to work. And then my dad was like, we don't want your car to get stolen, right? So I have two cars. So my other car was in North Carolina at my parents' house. So he's like, well, let's meet up tomorrow. I said, tomorrow's Friday. I have to go to work. Okay, let's meet up Saturday. Swap cars out. Take your older car back to St. Louis. I said, bet. So we met in Knoxville, Tennessee, swapped up my cars. That was my saving grace. If it wasn't for my parents, if I didn't have another car, I would have put that charger in a U-Haul, some storage center, and I would have got me a little $1,200 car and rode it around St. Louis, because there's a lot of piece of junks in St. Louis anyway, so I would have blended right on in. So let me tell you something. Also, I've never seen so many broken down looking cars, missing pieces that are just driving like it's not missing anything, like missing parts of the side of the doors, missing backs, look like they've been in a tractor trailer and pushed them in. I never seen so many cars look like that in my life on the road near the university. Like, what kind of ghetto atmosphere am I in? Anyways, so that happened. I swapped my car out, and I never had any issues after that. But the fact that them crooks, maybe it was them that came back, or maybe it was some new people, but the fact that they came back and broke into other cars means that place was being canvassed and watched. And it was happening like probably between like 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning, where no one's out there, right? And it was always happening, like the two times that place got broken into, that car parking lot, it was like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday when no one's out there. There's no foot traffic. There's no cops. There's no one going to the cars. Them crooks know what they're doing. They sleep all day and then they scam all night, okay? So anyways, so that was one of the reasons why I had to go. I'm going to go down my list of what I have on my phone of other reasons that things that I experienced there in my loft, right? Obviously, you know what happened before based on my last video. Yeah, so then no cameras were put in. If they did put in the cameras, they never let the tenants know. They never let us know that, hey, we got cameras put in, be on the lookout. They never fixed the gate. The gate looked like someone could have lollygagged over the gate and jumped back in. That's probably what happened. But let me tell you something. When I lived there, that whole year I lived there, every time someone moved out, they never changed the code to the walk-in gate. They never changed the code to the stairwell. Anybody that used to live there could have easily put in their code to the door and came in and ganked everybody. And that's something I do think about, actually. Like, somebody that was familiar with the parking area, knew the foot traffic timeline, was like, I can go ahead and steal this and steal that and steal this, breaking this and breaking that. I do think that's something that could have happened too. So, you know, the leasing people that work there is dumb. Real dumb. The people that worked there before weren't that dumb. The new ones, Keeley Property, dumb. Okay, so let's talk about that. So the no cameras, the agents. Now, one thing that they was really good on was a maintenance request. My AC went out, I think, twice in my loft. They did their best to fix it the first time, and then it went out again, right? And that second time, they was on it within a couple days, and then it was like an igloo in there, so thank God. But the fact is, they should have had the right AC HVAC guy in the first time for as much as money it costs to live there, okay? That's number one on that one. But the thing is, like, so when I told the rental people I wasn't going to come back and I needed to sign something, the 60-day notice, I signed it, and then when it came up to my my, I want to say my 30 days left. I was like, hey, I want to let you know I'm moving out in 30 days. Is there anything I need to do? And they was like, oh, we thought you was moving out next week. I had this conversation with you and two other people. You knew I was moving out. How did you forget? Why don't you guys have this put on Microsoft Office Outlook calendar? Why don't you do your jobs? Like, I understand you may be proper, like leasing or managing other properties, but you're supposed to stay on top of your tenants when they're moving out, when they're moving in, so you can go ahead and advertise for that loft. Dummies, but whatever. We got it together, but still, like, stuff like that just very, very aggravating, just extremely aggravating, but whatever. This is another thing that really, like, I noticed this maybe a couple months of me living there, but towards the end, where the older crowd that lived there when I moved there was moving out. Like, the older crowd, I mean, as in like college students, like Caucasian college students. Um, it looked like there was, where I lived at, there was a lot of people that were season ticket holders. So it was not always very crowded, a lot of people there. It was crowded on the weekends. You can tell that the season ticket holders or the college students came back, and it was kind of noisy because obviously, you know, I lived on the top floor, and above me was a damn bar, okay? Outside of that, it was not like a crowded place. But I could tell that the demographics was changing, becoming more my skin tone there, which is okay. Hallelujah, you're getting money, we coming up. But also, let me tell you, they would, just because you got money don't mean that the company is right, because they let the hood in that ballpark lofts, okay? It was, yeah, you can afford the rent. But the mentality of a lot of the people, not a lot of them, just I just had a couple runners with some scallywags. Outside of that, like, it was good company, it was good people, but you could tell that the demographic was becoming hoodish, even though it's an expensive place to live, and it's a great place to live if you want to live downtown and stunt on these people, right? But at the same time, the people that live there, the guests, the residents, kind of like, who are you letting in to be my neighbors? So when I say that, I say this. There must have been no dog restrictions on breeds to move in, because because I'm telling you, I ain't never seen so many pit bulls in my life. Hold on. Best water ever. I ain't never seen so many pit bulls before in my life. Like, my parents have two pit bulls, or had one. She got hit by a car, but now they got one. Okay. Pit bulls, they're sweet, but the breeds that I saw here was full pit bulls. Like, the ones my parents have are American pit. Like, you can tell they mixed with something else. It's still pit bull. But the ones at the ballpark lost, they look like if they let them off the leash, they will kill you. And I kid you not. And they had other breeds there too, but these dogs were some of the biggest dogs that weren't pit bulls. But one guy that worked at the wheelhouse was like, some lady here got a wolf for a dog, and he wasn't lying. Every time she was on the elevator, I said, just go ahead. I'm gonna wait for you to get off the elevator, and I'm gonna wait for it to press the button to come back up, because I'm not getting on the elevator with you and that big dog. Outside of that, most people had pit bulls, and the pit bulls, they had them on leashes or they didn't have them on leashes. And I had to have a run-in with some ghetto chick who did not have her pit bull on a leash, and me and my homegirl was on the elevator like, can you come get your dog? Because we don't know this dog is dog to know us, and the dog was like, we kept looking at my homegirl, was like, are you gonna pet me or am I gonna bite you? You don't want to run into that stuff every day. Like, it wasn't every day, but one time was enough, you know what I'm saying? Outside of that, there was just people that had pit bulls that looked like pit bulls that if they weren't on a leash, they would have ran you down. Or there was one pit bull that had to have a muzzle on it. It was the biggest pit bull I ever seen in my life. I've seen some big pit bulls before, but this was the biggest pit bull I ever seen in my life that had a muzzle, and it was a skinny black girl holding the dog like she could not even manage it. If that dog was evil, it would have killed me and her. Okay. I had to go. That law place was turning into that ghetto, and I don't know if they had, since they, I don't know if they had restrictions or didn't have restrictions, but I'm telling you, not many places allow you to have that type of breed of dog, even though there's no children that lived in that loft complex. And maybe that's the reason why they allowed breeds like that, but they got out. Just, that's all my thing. So the breeds, okay. I'm not even going to talk about the gym. Oh, I will talk about it. So I was able to go to the gym called the Fitness Factory, which I really, really liked, right? That was a part of my lease. Come to find out, on my very last month there, the contract ran out. And Fitness Factory was like, we're no longer doing contracts with lofts anymore. So now you got to pay $59 a month. I said, okay, goodbye, right? So I went to let the leasing office know that, hey, what's going to happen because I no longer have access to my gym. And it was like, what? And I had to let them know that they no longer do business with lofts, right? I had to let them know that. Why didn't they know that? Why didn't they know that? Why didn't they let us know that as tenants? So they end up giving me $59 for a plus to my rent, right? Because I couldn't go to the gym that I was going to for a whole year. Why am I doing your job for you? You need to pay me, leasing agencies. That's what I'm saying. These leasing agencies for Keeley Properties they lease some dumb people, or they have dumb people working for them that just need a job. Someone 18 could do better than what they've been doing. Okay, that's that. Oh, so after I swap my cars out, right? Ooh, this really was evading my existence. So swap my car out, and sometimes I was parking there at night. Sometimes I wasn't. Sometimes I was going to stay with my homegirls or homeboys who lived in Illinois, right? Because that's my business, right? So sometimes I would see people park in my parking spot. I wouldn't always get mad. I would just sometimes park up next to it and be like, okay, this person's going to eventually move. Let me tell you what happened. I don't know if I said this on the last video, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. This leasing company gave my parking spot number to somebody else while I was still assigned that parking spot, living there and paying for parking $85 a month. So when I saw the guy's stupid little Jeep, and the reason why I say stupid, because it had a Jurassic Park teeth on here, like he was a damn Jeff Bloom or whatever that guy's name is, Bloomberg, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say, the guy from the movie Jurassic Park, who had the black daughter, like he was Jeff. And I was like, parking spot 79, Nick, I am parking spot 79. So I left him a little sticky note. I said, look, I don't know who you need to call, but you need to call Kyle, because I've been parking here for a year. Please get out of my spot. Don't park here no more. So then I called Kyle, which is one of the leasing people, and I was like, look, somebody has a parking spot at 79, but I know I've had it longer than him. I've been living here a year. Well, please tell him to move. Kyle got back to me. He was like, oh yeah, one of the other leasing agents gave your parking spot up, but we went ahead and gave him a new parking spot. You're good. Do y'all not even talk to each other? I'm saying, like, I'm telling you. These people, the leasing agents, were the dumbest people. I'm not sure they talked to each other. I'm not sure they did their job. They just trouble. There's trouble, dog. Trouble. Anyways, oh yeah, so second thing that happened, outside of my car getting broken into and someone parking my parking spot, some ghetto guy who looked like he was associated with the trash in a trailer, okay? You know what I'm trying to say. Some guy who looked like he was associated with the trash in a trailer started parking there. He moved there, obviously. I only had one conversation with him when me and my homeboy was like, look, they broke into cars. Make sure your shit's not broken into, right? So outside of that, I changed my car out with my parents, and then I stopped parking there sometimes, but it was still my parking spot because I was getting swapped out with some other guy with Jurassic Park car. Then I came home from like the very next day of not parking there, and I see that it's the trailer trash guy's truck parked in my parking spot. And I was like, okay, let me give him some space. Let me give him some time. Maybe he drunk came in one night. And then I saw that the next day it was still there. So then I wrote the leasing agency. I was like, look, there's somebody with a white truck parked here. Y'all need to have this move. I paid for this parking spot. There was like, well, in the meantime, just park at spot 30. Okay, parked there, and I noticed like 2 days later, truck was still there. So I left a little note. I'm good for leaving notes. I said, look, you need to move your car. He left a note back. I can't make this out. This is St. Louis. The people that live here, get her. I don't care if they black or white. Get her. Okay? He left a note back on a cardboard box that said, look, if the engine blew up, I got to get it towed tomorrow. I said, okay, Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. Thursday come around, not towed. Friday come around, not towed. Now I'm getting upset. Okay? Now I'm getting heated. Beyonce. Heated. Still parking spot 30. I said, okay, maybe the tow truck didn't come. Whatever, right? So, mind you, I'm parked in spot 30. It's the weekend now. When I go to my car to go spend the weekend with my friend, I see that my car got hit. Someone backed into it. It was scuffed up. And the reason why I know, because this car here is like a mother of pearl white. So you can tell when someone got some black marks on it, right? And I said, you got to be kidding me. My first car got broken into. Now they scuffing up my car, backing into it like you couldn't even see it. And I'm like, number 2, number 3. I don't even know who it was, because it looked like it was someone's truck that parked into it, that backed into it. And when I went down to see my car to go move it, to go leave, there was no trucks over there. And I'm thinking, I don't know if it was a tenant that moved it, or if it was somebody who was here to visit the tenant hit it, right? So I'm like, well, let me let the leasing agents people know this too. So when I'm back into my car, and so when I emailed them, I said, look, someone back to my car, I'm in spot 30. You need to get this trailer truck, trash truck out of my spot 79, right? Because now people busting into my car, not busting into my car, but, backing up to my car. And they was like, are you sure? I sent them a picture. No response. Crickets. Y'all the ghetto over there. Ooh. Not trying to get heated right now, but it's this back-to-back month of the month ghetto. So finally, we got that spot scuffed out. Thank the Lord that it wasn't like a dent or something. So finally, I'm coming back, and I see the man whose truck is parked in my spot. By this time, it's been almost a week. I see the man whose truck is parked in my spot working on another truck. And I said, this is the same guy whose truck is parked in my spot who left that janky cardboard sign on his windshield and didn't move it. So I went out to him. I said, excuse me, sir, when are you gonna move your truck? And he was like, it was kind of a heated exchange of words, but I don't care. At this point, it's disrespect. At this point, it's a principality. At this point, you should have left another note talking about you didn't have no money to get the truck towed or something. It's a principality situation at this point. He's like, yeah, the tow truck couldn't come that day. They're supposed to come Monday morning. It's not my fault. When the tow truck came and put the truck in here, he just picked an empty spot. I didn't tell him to park there. I said, I don't give a damn. Have this thing moved, or it's going to be towed come Monday, whether you like it or not, and you're going to be paying for it. And I walked off. And let me tell you, I was taking video of this conversation just in case he tried to swing on me, because I'm going to have video evidence that he acting like a broke boy. So anyways, I think Monday came. It either was towed Monday afternoon or Tuesday morning. And I was like, ooh, great, and I can park back in park spot 79, because parking spot 30 you get crashed into. And then maybe like 2 weeks later, that guy was coming onto the elevator, and I was going off, and he had a look in my face like, Josh, slice and dice you. And I was like, hi, and I walked right on off. What you gonna do? Ghetto, I'm telling you. Ghetto. They let anyone move in that got a check. Look, all money ain't good money, okay? But also, it's just the ghetto. Okay, what else I got in here? Oh yeah, that's about it. There's other things too that I could talk about that's annoying, but I'm not. It's just that I'm just glad that I survived living in St. Louis. Like I said, I will be back, but I'm not living downtown St. Louis. I'm not even living in Missouri. Missouri is a wild, wild west. I know y'all call it the Midwest. It's the ghetto to me. Like, not even because it's the murder capital of the world. Not even because we can go one block and it'd be really nice, another block it'd be really destroyed, and it's like, why isn't the city putting money into these demolished buildings, and it's just trash? And apparently these buildings been looking like this for a decade, and y'all, the city ain't doing nothing about it, but they're building up little spaces instead of building up the whole city. That's on purpose, by the way. But anyways, I had to go. I could never live in St. Louis again. One and done. I did it, but after my car got broken into, and I just realizing the ghetto-ness of St. Louis, based on specifically that loft that I lived in, not the loft, but the loft building and its other tenants, I said the company here is getter. Outside of that, I will do a video on what the loft looked like when it was empty when I moved out. I had some great memories there. It was beautiful. I had it set up nice. Maybe I should have lived in a different loft. Maybe I shouldn't even live downtown, but I had a good experience for the most part. But it's just after June, it just went downhill for me. It's September. It's October right now. It's October right now. I done moved on. I done upgraded my life. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I hope this video was informational about how I survived St. Louis. Let me know what you think. And please don't think I'm hating on St. Louis. I'm telling the truth about St. Louis. Don't get mad talking about I should have did my research. You couldn't do enough research. Okay. Some things you gotta experience. But even like, I never had to research an area before I moved into there. All I had to do was drive around, look at some of the houses, and be like, oh yeah, I can afford this, or I can't afford this. Now I learned my lesson. I don't know if I'm never gonna live downtown area anywhere else. I'm never gonna live in a downtown loft again, even though it's a beautiful home. It's just too ghetto for me. Anyways, let me know what you think or not think.